Hello, I'm Janna, and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. Today, we're going to be having lots of fun with Stampers Anonymous and some Sizzix to create a Halloween card. I don't get to create Halloween cards often, so when I do, it is a special occasion. If you'd like to see exactly what I'm going to be using, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Today, we're going to be creating a Halloween card with lots of distress goodness and candy-filled fun. The colors I'm going to start for our background include lumberjack plaid, fired brick, and tart cranberry. So let's get the distress sprayer and we'll give our paper a generous mist, and let's start with the fired brick. Just going to do a couple of spritzes. Next, we're going to be adding a dash of the lumberjack plaid. Ooh, that is going to make a great juicy background. Then I want to add a dash of the tart cranberry. So I'll give this a really good shake to make sure that we get all the sediment incorporated. There we go, kind of a mixing ball. And we're all set. So a little bit here and there for some added mica goodness. All right, now I'm just going to spray a little bit more with the distress sprayer to get the colors moving. Good. And let's put things on fast forward as we do a little bit of layering and dry this off with the Ranger Heat tool. Let's take a look at the background that we made. Here we go. You can see the mica spray on here, and we've got some of the darker tones of the fired brick. I am loving the red of the background. Now, we are going to quickly run this through the die cutting machine. I've got the switch all fired up, and I want to cut a window out of this. Then we're going to be embellishing the rest of the frame with some spider webs from the Vault die set Fright Night. Had to use this one. I love that web. There's so many fun elements here to choose from. So we'll be right back after we have quickly die cut this oval. Now that we've done our die cutting, we can add our webs. So I have a whole bunch of die cut webs right here, and we are just going to stick these on since I used double-sided tape, and then we'll just trim off the edges with the tonic snips. But I want to put webs all over this. This has been an idea that's been kicking around for a bit, so this is a great time to use it. Okay, just got a couple of little pieces here that didn't quite come all the way out. Just gonna push those through. There we go. And there's one more hiding right here. Good. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna put this web right here. Let's work our way around. Ooh, that's good. That can go here. And let's stick on the last web. And this one's gonna go right over here, I think. Ooh. I just love the web detail. It looks kind of lacy against the red. That's cool. Very dramatic with the red. Okay, let's see. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's go in with the snips and we'll just take off those extra little webby pieces and move on to the next phase. So since I've got this window cut, I've been thinking that I wanted to do a shaker card. I wanted to mix some frightful fun with some sweet treats. So I was thinking a shaker card would be the best way to go about this. There we go. That's a chunk of web. And we're going to be filling that inner panel with some confections. I took a craft knife and cut those in half so that they would fit into a shaker window. And then we'll add some mica to that. I still have some of the midnight mica flakes, and that will be a good addition to go with the candy pieces. And of course, to prop up the shaker, I'm going to be using some foam tape to help kind of build a moat that will let me put shaker pieces into it. And of course, I'll need a piece of clear acetate to go over the top for the window itself. Okay, there we go. Almost done cutting. I just have some little webby pieces on the inside. So just work our way around. There we go. Oh, I can't wait to flip this over. It's going to be great. Black and red is definitely one of my favorite Halloween combinations. I love a classic orange and black, but red and black to me is super dramatic. So I couldn't resist. Okay, and almost all the way around. Just trying to cut through every little webby piece. Good. Okay, and going through here. There we go. All right. Oh, that's as good as I hoped. Cool. But before I start building up my layers with that, I do want to frame the webs, kind of just to hide the edges, and we'll do that with some skinny washi tape. So I've got some black washi tape and it has the numbers on it. I'm going to grab the ATG gun just to add a little extra adhesive to help keep that tape in place. There we go, just running a thin line, tucking over that edge of tape. There we go. Oh, just getting this little weird paper scrap out of the way. And this is going to be the bottom, that's going to be the top. Let's take that. I'm going to place that right here. And it's going to help camouflage the edge of the spider webs. Perfect. Take that. Fold over the edges, and we'll keep working our way all the way around. One thing that I'm trying to work on is the details. The details are so important with any make, but I get so excited and sometimes I forget about the details because there's just too many things to play with. But when I get to take my time and really, really deep dive a project, that's when the details start shining through. But sometimes I get ahead of myself and have too many ideas, and I lose some of the little extra things that I could have done. And like covering up those die cut edges is just one small thing that I wanted to do to add more to this card panel. Now I just want to get this to line up. There we go. Fold that over. Perfect. Okay, so I've got two more sides. More tape. And all right. And this one needs to be flipped around. Good. Yeah, the black is really making the red pop. I love it. Fold that under. Great. Last side. And we'll take that, run it right along. Excellent. Fold the extra over and run my last line of tape. Then we can get on to building the shaker element. And why not? A good shakety shake is lots of fun. Okay. All right. Very good. Now, I'm going to flip this over just gonna make sure that I've got enough. There we go. That's okay. So I want to cut about here-ish. Excellent. And chop. Just taking that little protective piece off. There we go. Put the trimmer away. Now, to attach this, I'm just going to use some ATG tape. It's going to be easiest for me, I think. It's going to run that. Okay, good. There we go. I'm just going to stick that right down. Now, as you can tell, I'm collecting all sorts of gunk already on here. But easy fix. I'm just going to use a anti-static pouch and wipe that down. And that's going to prevent some of the static from cleaning. And I do need to just get that a little clean. And we will be good. That should help cut down on the static. That's the good news. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Now I'm going to take some very thick foam tape and I'm going to cut this down into thinner strips, and I'll be able to work my way around the edge of the oval frame. So I'm going to cut this into 3 segments, and I'm going to be doing small rectangular pieces as I work my way around the frame. Okay, so let's start with these. And we're just going to work our way around. Good. Because I want to create a moat to keep all of those fun, shaky pieces inside the oval. There we go. Not quite sure how many of these I'll need, but I've got plenty of tape to work with, and I'm just going to carefully make my way all the way around. There we go. And that's about halfway. Good. All right. This will be fun. All right, and 1. Oh, that's really sticky. That's a good thing. And 2. Let's see, will this be enough? Almost. I need a little bit more. Good. That should be good. Now the question is that going to be tall enough with pieces? And the answer is no, it is not going to be tall enough. So that means I need to do a second layer. Let's go ahead and put this on fast forward as I build up the frame just a little bit more. Now that we have our foam built all the way up, it's time to add our treats to the card. So we're creating a shaker card, and I've got all sorts of little treats. These are from Confections, and I cut these in half using an X-Acto knife so that they'll be able to fit inside our shaker window. Now, the important thing to remember is that you need to place these down so that the nice side is on the acetate and the cut side is facing up. So we're going to carefully put all of these down. I've got some pieces of candy corn and I've got some of the fun round candies, and I love that they are in black and orange. That is fantastic. Now, we've got all sorts of wonderful candy bits here, but I am definitely going to want some mica, and I have got some of the midnight mica flakes. So we're going to add a dash of those in here as well. I'm just going to sprinkle that. That should be good. And we'll just move that around. There we go. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be taking the backings off of all of these foam pieces so that I can attach this to the next layer of the card. So I'm just kind of working my way around the edge. There we go. Peeling off all those pieces, and there's a lot because we did use quite a bit of foam to build up that barrier. So almost there, halfway around, and let's just keep on moving. All right, almost there. Just have a couple more pieces to lift up. I'm also thinking that I might want to add some additional foam to the corners just to add a bit more stability. So I've still got that foam roll off to the side, and I'm just going to grab the scissors and we're going to take that, snip, and I'm going to fold this in half. Then I'll snip again so that I'll have an equal height piece of foam to the ring that I've got going around the acetate. There we go. Now I can just peel that off as well. And I think I want to do all four corners. I can actually cut this piece in half, and that should be enough for two sides. Let's see, I'll place one here and one over here. Very good. And let's take a little bit more foam and we'll do the same thing. So just cut and cut. There we go. And I'll cut that in half again. So more foam to peel. Good. All right. We'll be able to put that backing on in just a moment. So for the back piece, I decided that I wanted to go in with some sparkling craft stock. Sparkle is going to show up really nicely, and hopefully the candies are going to pop against it. So this is the tricky part. We have to line things up very, very carefully because I offset this just a bit. So if I line this up here, then in theory, if I move everything 1/8 of an inch away from where I want, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I'm gonna have to be really, really careful here. All right. All right, here is our shaker element. Take a look. We've got candy pieces. They are going everywhere. They've got the Nightfall mica in the background. Midnight mica. Okay, so probably the most challenging part of the card is complete. Now, let's add a little bit more detail to the front of the card. I have been saving a paper doll that I was thinking would go perfectly with this card. I colored this guy in a while ago with some distress crayon. We used some lumberjack plaid, a dash of prize ribbon, some tattered rose, and a little bit of walnut stain. And I was thinking he would go perfectly on this card. So for him, I want to use some collage medium. We're just going to take a bit, add it to the back, and let that dry. Okay. So just scribbling that right on, placing him down here. Perfect. He makes a lovely addition to the card. Next, we're going to work on the inside of the card. And for that, I've pulled in 2 pieces of distress watercolor cardstock. I'm going to flip these over to the smooth side, and we're going to be doing a little bit of stamping and watercoloring. And we're pulling in the stamp set Tiny Frights CMS 468. Now on the stamp set, I absolutely had to include the fantastic little candy corn. And we're going to be making some of our own background paper with the little candy corn. So just putting that onto a stamping block. We're going to grab some black soot archival, and we're going to stamp lots and lots of little candy corns. Then we're going to be coloring them in with some distress watercolor pencil. For this part, we're going to put everything on fast forward as we create our own custom background papers. We have completed our 2 inner card panels. We've got these fun candy corn stamps, nicely colored. Now it is time to attach them. So I'm just going to take the ATG tape and we'll run some tape along the back. I did pre-cut the watercolor cardstock down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That way we have a little bit of a black outline. Okay, that's panel number 1. Let's go ahead and add this. Let's see. Here should be good. I'm just going to carefully line everything up and better stick that right down. Still a little high. Right there looks pretty, almost pretty good. Interesting. I always have a little bit of trouble lining things up. There, I think that's all right. Yeah, all right, let's take care of the other side now. More ATG tape. So running that around the perimeter first, and then a couple of strips down the middle. All right. And let's line this one up the best we can. So now I've got the other one to kind of use as a marker. Right there is good. Okay, so we've got the interior of the card done. And while we're at it, let's attach the exterior of the card too. So I've got the interior panels completed. I've got my front panel complete. Next, we'll turn our attention to the back panel before we come back to the interior for some finishing details. Okay, just add that tape. Shake the shape, it's in good shape. All right, let's add this right to the front. Okay, so lining that up. Oh, and there's going to be no overlap because this should be exactly 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I can go right to the edge. Okay, and here. Good. I think so. Ooh, not quite. Interesting. I am off by just a bit. Let's try that one more time and try to get everything as lined up as possible. Okay, let's try doing top-down alignment. All right, if I have that here. Oh, that's interesting. It looks like it is going to have just a bit of overlap. Well, let's do our best. Huh. Interesting. Well, not a terribly big deal. I can trim off the extra. Huh. Thought I had everything neatly lined up. Okay, oh, got scissors so we can trim. There we go. Just carefully working my way up that edge. Almost there. And there. All right. That's good. Just going to kind of smooth off that edge. Great. So we have the front cover. Now we're going to work on the back panel. For the back panel, I decided to pull in one of my favorite embossing folders. We've got these fantastic 3D skulls. Now, there was a Tim Holtz technique, I believe it was in the 2022 Halloween Hoopla, where we coated an entire sheet using distress glaze, and then there was some black ink, I believe archival ink, that was used to add more detail. So we're going to, for the glazes, we're going to be pulling in some frayed burlap and some antique linen. And I'm also going to need the embossing dabber. There we go. And I'm just going to scribble all over the panel and get as much of the ink on here as we can. Then we'll start adding the glaze. So I've got an old glaze, the antique linen, and one of the new glazes, the frayed burlap. So I'm hoping we're going to get a really cool mottled look of those two different glazes. I'm hoping to make this look just like old bone. First, we're going to go over this with some distressed glaze. Then we'll go over the top and kind of scrub with some distressed black soot. After, I'm thinking for a little bit more grunge, we might even go in with some distressed crayon. Probably some scorched timber or some walnut stain, depending on how grungy we want to make this. Okay, so that seems like a good amount of distress ink for the embossing. Let's go ahead and start sprinkling. So this is going to end up as a party mix, so we'll have to toss the extra, but I'm very curious how this is going to look. So I'll start with some of the antique linen, and we're just going to take that and just sprinkle it on. Kind of random, don't know what we're doing, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we get. All right, now let's grab some frayed burlap. There we go, just doing a pinch, twist, and sprinkle. This will be very neat. Okay, it's starting to show some color on here. More of the antique linen. Good. All right, in a moment I'm going to pick this up and we'll just do a little bit of a tap and see how much more I need and get this spread around. So I'm doing the finger tap thing on the back. Just trying to hold the side so I don't get anything in the way. Ooh. And I've definitely got some spots that will need a bit more glaze. So I'm just going to pinch, twist, and sprinkle. All right, let's see here. Oh, I've still got a spot or two. All right, that looks pretty good. We'll be back in just a moment after I've had a chance to emboss this. Here is the embossed panel, and that is looking good. I love the color on here, but now this is too clean. We need to grunge this. So I'm going to be going in with the archival black soot. Just going to scribble that. There we go. Interesting. You know, I'm almost wondering if I have this backwards. Maybe I need to run this through the folder again. Oh. Ooh, I kind of like that. Oh, that's definitely grungier. Okay, we're going to try something else as well. I'm going to run this through the embossing folder again, but I'm going to scribble on some of the ink. That's going to hit the low points of the folder. All right, let's run that through and see what we get, and then we'll be going back in with some Distress Crayon. So all I'm going to do is pop this right back in here. It's going to pop in very nicely, just like that. I'll just fold that right back up, run this through the machine, and that's going to transfer the ink from the folder back onto the paper. All right, let's see what we get. All right, let's take a look. Ooh. So we darkened up the background a bit more since we put the archival ink on there. That's looking really, really grungy, but we're going to go further. We're going to be grunging this up with a bit of scorched timber. So I'm just going to scribble that down. Then I'm going to smush that around with my finger. Let's see what that gets us. All right. Ooh, very, very grungy. Now I am going to wipe some of the crayon off. That way I can kind of preserve some of the high points and bring it back to that really cool bone look. So what I'm going to do is off to the side, I'm just putting a little spray of water onto the craft mat, and I'm going to dip my towel in that and just rub off bits and pieces here and there. That way we keep the grunge, but I still want that really cool bone look to come through. There we go. Ooh. That is looking really old and grungy. Love it. There we go. That is looking great. I'm really happy with that. Ooh. Got lots of grunge going on. Very good. Ooh. Kind of scrubbing in a few areas. Okay. Now the nice thing is, if I take too much off, it's very easy to go back and add more later. But I'm pretty happy with how that is looking. There we go. All right. So I think I am done. Okay, we definitely got some grunge going on here. So let's take this and we're going to attach it to the back of our card. I'm just going to see how that's going to fit. That looks pretty good, except there's going to be a teeny tiny overhang, and I want to cut off this piece that has, and I want to cut off this that has just a little bit of a ridge on it. So right here. Perfect. Now let's get the ATG tape and adhese it. So we'll just take this, some more of that, work my way around. There we go. Great. So we're just going to line this up and place that on here. Okay. Good. Ooh, that is very cool. All right, so that's the back of the card. I'll probably add a little something else to this. Ooh. Yeah. Kind of want to add my little demon cat. Maybe down in the corner. Gonna need a little bit more red on his eye. That kind of came off. Made him a while ago, but got more red stickles, so that's easy. Yeah, I really want to add that demon cat here. That'd just be fun. There we go. So we'll just peel the backing off the cat, since I've already got some double-sided sticky tape. There we go. And demon cat can just hang out right here. That is good. Okay. So we've kind of decorated the back. I'm going to think about what else I want to do back here. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll have to think on that for a little bit. But in the meantime, we've still got things to do on the inside. Oh, and I have a little bit more trimming to do too. Did not notice that. That's okay. Can do that right now. Just trim that side down so everything matches. Almost there. Okay. Okay, that is good. So we need to do something with the inside. Now on the inside, I want to do a lift up panel and a pop-up panel. So I'm going to need a panel here, and I kind of want to do like a square panel, and then I'll need a pop-up element under it. I think if I take apart one of the mixed media tags, that'll give me a good foundation for the under part, and then I'll use another piece of tag for the pop-up, well, for the flip part. So let's set this here for a moment. I'm going to grab a tag for 2. Yeah, it's going to work out well. Okay, so how do I want to do this? The tags are almost 3 1/4. So, well, maybe I can just make it 3 inches. That would be the easiest thing. 3 inches square. Yep, that'll work. 3 by 3. Perfect. Oh, and that will leave me enough tag to cover it. Great. That works out very well, just like that. So I want to stamp on here. No, I'm going to stamp on here, and this is going to need kind of a background of some sort. All right, I'm going to set the other tag aside for the moment. I'm going to set this over here, and I want to do a blue background. I'm going to need some chip sapphire and some prize ribbon. Let's see here. What do I got? Where did all my colors go? Alright, there's the chip sapphire. Now, where's the prize ribbon hiding? Right there. Okay. And I do want a dash of some sparkle. So I'm going to pull in the Winter Frost color. Give that a really good shake. There we go. Okay, and we're just going to spray that. Won't take much. Now just a little prize ribbon and some chip sapphire and a good splash of Winter Frost. All right. And a bit more water to move that around. Ooh, it's gonna look good. Nice and flowy. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment after I've had a chance to dry this off. We're also going to add a bit of spray to this as well, because we're going to have an element that's going to be popping up. So this is the top of the tag. Then this would flip upwards, and we're going to see that part of the tag as well. So I want to add more color to this side, and then we can do our stamping on the opposite side. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to give that a good spray. And again, I'm going to use the exact same colors just to keep everything kind of on the same color spectrum. There we go. Dash of the prize ribbon. Love that blue, it's so good. And now some of the winter frost, which is a nice moody blue. Love it. All right, and we'll drip some more water, get that moving. Great. And again, I will need to dry that off. Let's take a look at the first one. So after drying it, I got this really fine kind of streaky background, which is just what I'm going for because I'm kind of going for something mysterious and a little bit hazy. Okay, let's dry this off and we'll be right back. Okay, I've now got both pieces and it's going to go like this eventually. So that's going to flip up and this is going to be the other side. Now I'm going to stamp something on this side and I can probably use that to my benefit. All right, so for stamping, we're going to be pulling in another stamp set. This is probably my favorite one this year from the Halloween stamp release. I have got to go with framed frights. I love these guys. They are fantastic. So we're going to be using this one. And I just need my stamping block. I'll stamp that in some Distress Black Archival. And then we will color it in with some watercolor pencils. Okay, got that. Now, just need the archival. So, inking up the stamp. Great. And let's stamp that down. Just line this up. There we go. Okay. So now I need to color this in. And I think the crayons are gonna, not the crayons, the watercolor pencils are going to be the easiest for me to do. So I'm just going to scribble some color down and then I will watercolor it out with the water brush. Right now I'm using some Shabby Shutters for the lawn. That is a nice kind of grungy-ish green. Yeah, just like that. Then I'm going to want a bit of brown for the house. Let's go for some frayed burlap. There we go. All right, I'll probably do the roof a slightly different color. There, it's pretty cool. All right, maybe I'll use kind of a medium brown. Oh no, I don't want aged mahogany. Let's see here. Ground espresso, that'll work. There we go. Okay. And then I want a different brown for trees. Let's use brushed corduroy. There we go. That is good. And we'll use some more of that brushed corduroy for the path. Then I'll need a gray, probably pumice stone, for the tombstones and the rocks. And then I'll need a bit of blue for the sky. Okay. Oh, hickory smoke. That is good. Great. Now I want to color in the sky. Let's continue with some chip sapphire since we already have that included in our colors. There we go. I'm going to scribble that out. Okay, that is good. So now I need the water brush, and we're going to turn these scribbles into something a little bit more arty. Good. So let's go ahead and put this on fast forward while I finish up with the water brushing. Next, we're going to work on creating the pop-up mechanism. So we're going to bring our card base back, and we're going to start attaching our pieces. So I want this to go right here, and I'm going to attach that with some washi tape. I've got this is from an old Idea-ology SKU. I love the clocks on here. So we're going to take that and we're going to place the tape right here. I'm going to try to keep this as centered as possible. That looks good. And we're going to stick that here. Next, I'm going to take the ATG tape and we're going to add this panel underneath. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. We're going to run a tape border around this mini panel. Good. And let's see here, which side? Probably around here. Oh, that's right. I wanted to do something about those odd little corners. All right, I'm just going to take this for a moment, put that on here, and I'm just going to trim that off, just so that's going to match. 1 and 2. Perfect. So that's going to go right here. Okay. There we go. That goes here. Now for the mechanism part. So we want to have a pop-up, and I'm going to fold this tab down first, and we're going to kind of make like a little table. So that's 1, and I want to have it pop out about that much, 2, and then 3. We're kind of making a little M or a W depending on how you look at this. Then we'll just cut off the extra. And the idea is that this is going to sit right here, and that when this goes down, that folds up beautifully. Now, before I do that, I want to color our strip of paper a blue to match everything else, and then we'll see about attaching our little pop-up thing in here. So set that aside for a moment, and I'm just going to color that with the mica spray. Why not? There, just like that. That'll match. And I'll just give this a quick dry, and we can add that right to the interior of the card. So we've got our hinge, and it's going to look like this. So we're going to glue these pieces here and here. Now for gluing, I'm going to be using some collage medium. I'm just going to add a little bit right here and a little bit over here. There we go. I'll need to hold that in place just for a moment or two while the collage medium has a moment to set up. And I'm going to have to do something about that hole. I'll need to cover that up after this has had a chance to set. So we're just going to put that right here, and we're going to hold that until the glue has a chance to set up and go from there. Let's see, did I do this right? Oh, I missed something. Hang on. Uh-oh. Over, because I want that. Oh, oops, what did I do? Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't, okay, there we go, because it's going to rest like this. That's right, it needs to sit like a chair. I forgot for a moment. That just has to rest slightly higher. Okay. So I glue each tab, and I have to have the pop-up thing bent like we have a sitting chair, because when it's open, I want everything else to be at 90-degree angles. There we go. So as long as you remember you're dealing with 90-degree angles, you've made yourselves a W, and if everything's going at 90 degrees, this is how it's going to look when it completely pops up. So that is good. Now the only thing is I'm going to need a little bit more height on the pop-up thing itself because it's going to be just a hair too low, I think. Oh, no. That's actually perfect because the ghost is going to be my little pop-up element. It's going to go like that. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now what I want to do is add a moon behind it that's glowing, and yeah, I want a moon back there. That's going to be cool. All right, so what we're going to do with the ghost is we're going to add him to the pop-up. I'm just going to put a teeny tiny bit of glue on here, and we're just going to place that right there. All right, that is going to be great. And then he'll be able to, oh, he's too big. I didn't even think that was a possibility. Oh no, he's too big. All right, that's okay. We can get a smaller ghost. Good thing there's more sizes with that particular stamp set. Okay, there's the little one that I want. Perfect. He will fit right there. I just want that little ghosty. Excellent. So that works out very nicely. Next, I want to add a moon in the background. So let me see what I have for moons because I already made some. I've got a good stash of die cuts on reserve for when I'm making and have a sudden idea for a project. All right, here I've got a whole box of moons. Now I just need to find the right one for the background. We've got lots to choose from. I've got some crescents. Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. That, I think, will be just the right size for behind that little ghost. All right, just need to trim that edge. And this should be good. I'll have to trim it down again, but I think this is exactly what I wanted. I mean, the other moons are really cool, and we've got some small things in here, but I really like this one. So let's see here. And yes, that will fit. I'll just have to take a teeny tiny bit off the edge. All right. Well, that's making me pretty happy. So, because I kind of want it just kind of like there's a ghost just hovering. Just kind of like that. He's hanging out and there's happens to be a moon behind him, which just looks cool and kind of spooky. Ooh, maybe I could put like another... No, I don't know. I want to do something else here, but I'm not sure. So let's focus on getting that moon glued. And then we'll see about adding other things. All right, that moon. Yes. Very happy about that. Okay, now what direction? This direction. That is good. So we'll put that right here. That's as down as that's going to get. We'll smush this down. I'm going to hold that for a little bit, and then I'll be able to trim off that little sliver that is hanging out over the top. Oh, I also should add like a little pull tab just so that this is obvious that it's supposed to be lifted. Let's see here. What have I got? I've got so many things. Do I want something from Idea-ology, or do I want a strip? Oh, too many choices. That's the one problem when just playing. There's so many things that you could do. Oh, I could do a little pumpkin. Those are kind of cute. Oh, I really like that. That's fun. But then I'd have something overlapping. Oh, but if I bring it up like that, then it's kind of covering the moon. Does that make a good tab to lift? I don't know. Like, I feel like a banner is like kind of more obvious that you need to lift something. But this is pretty thick, so I think it's clear that you need to lift, but I really want to add that pumpkin here. Why not? Let's add the pumpkin in. Okay. Can't resist a good pumpkin. And that just kind of fits right here. Like, now I don't even have to trim that moon piece because it's camouflage now. I just want to make sure that the pumpkin doesn't show. There we go. If I need to trim a little bit of the moon, not a problem. But like that, there's less to trim. Okay, oh, that little ghost is making me so happy. Cool. So that kind of solves that problem, but I'm going to need to trim the moon. That's just how it's going to be. It's all right. Just a little trim. Nothing big. And just try to keep that in line with the pumpkin. There we go. Moon trimmed. Pumpkin. And oh, that looks cool. I like that. All right. So got my little pop-up. You know what? I'm going to leave that blank because then I can kind of add a sentiment or a mini note. And now I want to do something on the other side. We're going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to do like a pop-up thing there. I'm just going to do maybe an image and then a blank box to write some text. But I kind of want to put like a Happy Halloween or Wicked Fun or Hello or Boo. Yes, I need to put a boo there. So I need a die cut. And what else is a ghost going to say? It's going to pop up and it's going to say boo. All right. Be right back in just a moment. I need to grab some more die cuts. Okay, so I've got a couple of options. I've got that. That's kind of nice and dark. But that really pops. I got to go with that one. It pops. I don't know, but that gets so moody as well. No, I'm going to go with the purple one. Okay. So, just add some glue. Now, this was cut out with some craft stock, and I put some of the deco paper over the top from one of the Idea-ology Halloween packs. I believe that was last year. Right. There we go. Got our little ghosty, and he's saying boo. All right. That is getting there. Now, I need to figure out what I'm doing for the other side. And for the other side, I'm kind of thinking that I want to do another background. Should I do more blue or should I go for something darker? Maybe I'll go just a little bit darker with some black soot in the chip sapphire and then maybe a dash of frozen fog. That could look good. Yeah, I like frozen fog. Oh, wait, nope. I should use one of the spritz. That is what I should do. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull from... Oh, it's a good one. Oh, you know what? I love the Wilted Violet, but I also really love the Uncharted Mariner. That would add something. Let's do a little Uncharted Mariner. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside To finish drying, we've got our fantastic little pop-up ghost. He makes me very, very happy. Got that side. All right. Let's work on the tag. So I guess I can do the entire tag in one shot. I can do front and back. It's not going to matter. Like, yeah, it's going to be more even if I do that. So spray. And where'd the black soap wander to? Been using a lot of that lately. Where is it? There it is. I already had it out. So spray and chip sapphire. More spray and a dash of Uncharted Mariner spritz. Gotta give it a really, really good shake. Okay, quick change of plans. I think I will go with some weathered wood. I think that is really, really good shape. All right, the bottom looks pretty well incorporated, and let's spritz. There we go. So just enough to give some shimmer, and let's drop some water on here. Get some flow going. All right, so we'll just dry this off and we'll be right back. Here is the first side of the tag. We've got some spritz in here with a bit of weathered wood, and I also had dribbled in just a dash of Uncharted. Also added a dash of Uncharted Mariner. So we've got that. Nice and shiny. Now I want to do this side. So this side I'm tentatively planning on like placing a message here or a sentiment. So I want to do this side a little bit lighter. And we're going to go for some salty ocean along with a bit of the winter frost. So we spray, add some color, add some mica. All right, and we'll need some more water. There we go. So let's give this a quick dry and we'll be right back to assemble that next section of the card. So for this, I'm just going to take this and fold things over. So let's fold like that. Oh. Okay, if that side's down and this side is up, that's just going to lift like that, and I'll cut the corners off. There we go. All right, so I'm going to bring the card back in, and I just want to place this right here. And what do I want to put on here? That's the big question. Well, a full-size jack-o'-lantern would be great. So let's see here. Oh, that's fun. That's a nice grungy one. Or what else do I have? Yeah, I think I like that one. But I've also... No, that one's going to be too big. So let's add a jack-o'-lantern like that. That'll work. And maybe I could add a couple of stars above it. That'd be kind of neat. Got all sorts of stars in this box. Let's see what I have. I want like some silver twinkly stars. Okay. Ooh, could do that. One of those, and I need one more little star. Cool, I like that. That'll work. So now we need some glue and some tape. Ignore the mess. Add tape. Okay, good. And let's place that right here. Okay. Just want to move that over a little bit. Right here. Okay. And we'll add the pumpkin. We'll use some collage medium for that. Okay, good. Place that right here. Okay, and we'll add in the stars. So I've got 3 stars. So I want my big one over here, and I'll put one here and one there. Good. So I'll take the star, and we'll grab the other 2. Okay. Ooh, I love the sparkliness. Okay, good. So we've got the stars in place, and we'll give that a moment or 2 to dry. Okay, so I pulled some Idea-ology elements that I want to use to finish this portion of the tag, and I'm going to use this probably as a message space. So I found this 31. I'm going to put that in the corner, and then we're going to put a crow on top of that. There we go. That will work out. That can go right here. And then I want to do some bats up here. One of them is going to be covering up that hole. There we go. Got the bat. Put him right here. Very good. And then I've got my 2 other bats that I can add. Let's take this one, put this guy over here, flying at an angle. And then we got an itty bitty bat. I love that there's so many different sizes of bats. Those are fun. And itty bitty bat can go here. Great. So I think we are pretty much wrapping up. I just need to decide if I'm going to do anything else to the back and if I want to add a sentiment to the front. I've already got Boo in here, and I really want to add a sentiment here, but I need to take a look and see which sentiments could be some good possibilities. So now it's time to add the sentiments. Now for the sentiments, I decided to go with some classic sentiments. We've got a traditional Happy Halloween, and I had to pull in the Tim Holtz Idea-ology label stickers. I love these, and the black and white fits right in with the color scheme that I've got going. So we're going to add our Happy Halloween to the front. There we go. And let's open the card up. We'll add 2 sentiments on the inside. So the first one, since we've got all the candy corn and the pumpkin, let's go for a trick or treat. That can go here. I'm just trying to center this the best that I can. That looks good. And over here, since we've got that jack-o'-lantern, why not state the obvious? Jack-o'-lantern. I'll just try to keep everything in line. Okay. Excellent. So, we have completed our Halloween candy shaker card. So, as you can see, we've got all sorts of fun shakety bits on the front. And then, when we open the card up, we've got these 2 flaps. This side, we've got our little pop-up ghost. And on the other side, we have a spot to write a note. And I love the little bats that we have going, but really, that ghost makes me so darn happy with this little pop-up feature. That is fun, and he's saying boo. Then if we turn the card over, we then have our grungy back panel with the fantastic 3D skulls, and why not, a little demon cat. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner for some Sizzix and Stampers Anonymous fun. Until next time, happy crafting!